Do you have a job that you hate? Do you have a boss that you wish you could just kill? I probably shouldn't say kill right off the bat here. I don't know if that's a good idea for monetization. Anyways, we're talking about our favorite boss fights from video games here on Wasted Opinions.
Hello, Mr. Betsy. My name is CountryBoy.
I'm LewisLightning. Oh, whoa! I'm MussKeg.
Whoa, what are you thinking?
I'm a level 38 death count.
Hey, look who it is! It's the porno guy!
Fall into it, look at it all. Let's just agree with all each other's picks and we love each other.
So yes, this is another Wasted Opinions, and we are talking about our favorite boss battles in video games. I'm pretty sure everybody has had some awesome, epic boss battles that they love, and today we're going to highlight some of our favorites. Maybe we'll get to all of them, but we'll get to some of our favorites. But before we do that, we're going to introduce ourselves, starting with the guy to my left, or right, whatever it is on the screen.
I'm LewisLightning, and when I'm not here, I study the universe.
Let's go down below.
Okay. I'm MussKeg, and when Lewis is studying the universe, I'm studying
Lewis?
hot ass.
Lewis's hot ass?
No, just hot ass in general. If Lewis has a hot ass, then I'm studying it, I guess.
It just happens to be in there. It's not like it was a choice.
Yeah, like you didn't specify which gender or whatever. You're just like, any hot asses.
Hot ass, you know?
And I hate studying, so don't even think about me with studying. I am CountryBoy. But let's do some shots here before we get any results.
Sure. Boom.
Chink. Does anybody want to start? Do we have a volunteer? Craig, have at it.
All right. I'm going to go from a great series. There's a bunch of good games. It's probably my favorite version of the game in the series. You guys know who makes it. I don't. It is from the Batman Arkham City game.
It's Rocksteady.
Rocksteady, yeah.
Rocksteady, the fight with Mr. Freeze.
Oh, yeah.
We'll kill the dinosaurs. The Ice Age. Yeah.
I'm talking about. It would have been better if they incorporated that, but it couldn't. No, a really creative fight, right? You know, most of the bosses that you beat in that game, you typically beat them up, you hit them. Maybe you'll get creative with like the weapons you use or the gadgets you use or things like that, but it's pretty consistent across the way. This was one where you had to be creative. You couldn't hurt him in the same way more than once. Like you had to, I think it was 4 times you had to get him.
Something like
4
that.
or 5, yeah. Yeah, it was something like that, yeah.
But you had to attack him in his lair, which was a cool lair, right? Like a cold, freezing lab.
Lab, yeah.
To approach it, and you just had to attack him and get him in multiple ways. And I thought that was awesome because so many people think about the first time you played it, you probably just tried to attack him the same way or fight him just directly on, and you'd find out pretty quick, oh, he doesn't. Like, you know, you try and get him from underneath a grate in the ground.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you go to do that again and he's grabbing you and
he like freezes some of the things, so you can't even use them. Yeah.
So
I know I got the first 3 or 4, and then I was like, what the last one? I was always like what do I gotta do now? Like what else is there? What can I do? So it took some creativity.
Yeah. And a cool look and everything.
Yeah. That's something that I know other games have started to kind of like incorporate that idea in boss fights, like in the more recent 2018, I believe, Spider-Man game on PS4. You have the Taskmaster, and he kind of like starts figuring out how you fight him, so you have to change things up. So a similar concept, although I agree that the Arkham one is way better executed.
Yeah, for sure. So, LewisLightning, you wanted next?
Sure, I'll go next. I'm going to go with I think this is just an easy one, very popular one, but from the first God of War game, in the first 10 minutes, you fight the Hydra on board the ship, and like that's just a classic God of War moment now. Like they bring that up quite a bit. But you come on board the top of, like, you work your way through the ship for like maybe five minutes. Once you get onto the upper deck of the ship, there's the Hydra, and it's like ripping apart this ship, and there's like 3 masts, and like there's a head around each one. If you stay on the lower level, he's gonna fuck you up. But you got to go and like pin him down by breaking the mast or running his head through them. And there's 3 heads,
Yeah.
right? So you work through all of them. But it's just that, playing that for the first time, you were like, oh my god, this boss is huge. How am I gonna fight this thing? And it sets the stage for the rest of the game, right? Like, going forth, you fight all these other huge mythical monsters, but like 10 minutes in to see that, you're like, oh my god, this is crazy. And like I said, it gets referenced a lot when they made PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. They specifically used that one on a stage. And then I believe even in the newer 2018 God of War, on one of those islands you find in the Lake of Nine, there's like a key, and it's for one of these ghosts, the revenants or whatever, and it references the ship and the Hydra and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's great. I don't know. I can't say enough good stuff about it.
No, you're absolutely right. I've never seen that kind of like epicness at the start of a game ever, and that it really sets the tone for that game and for that franchise. Really, like
I
it
didn't
was
get the
it
same
was so
experience.
amazing.
I didn't get the same experience as you guys because I played it after I played other Gods of War, right? So
Hmm.
that concept was not new to me, if you will.
Yeah, they had to kind of continue with all the other ones. Like the second game had the
Yeah.
same idea with the Colossus of Rhodes, and then the third one you were on top of
Poseidon.
Gaia.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Poseidon. Yeah, you're fighting Poseidon on top of Gaia. So yeah, they always kind of like did something big in the beginning of the game for all of them. So my first one is gonna be it's a game I'm actually currently still playing. Actually, I just played a little bit of it today. I'm talking about Black Myth Wukong. And one of my favorite bosses is a boss that kicked my ass so many freaking times. Like I couldn't even count on my 2 hands how many times I died to this boss. It is the Tiger Vanguard, and he's a big like hulking tiger dude with a sword basically, and you're in this big pool of blood, and it's just a cool like setting. Like the blood's like splashing as he's fighting you, and this guy's got like these evil eyes as he's fighting you, and he's fast and he is hard to beat. And the thing is, I'm a little stubborn when it comes to playing games. I don't like to change up my play style because there's 3 different play styles you can do. You can do the style that I have. You can do like a less aggressive one where it's like more backed away. And you have more distance, and then you can do another style. It's more passive, I guess, than that. I think, but I'm more of a aggressive one. So I just stuck with the aggressive approach, and for a long time it wasn't working for me until I finally figured it out and I took him down. And the excitement I got when I took him down was just awesome. He's a really cool looking boss. Honestly, this whole game has like dozens of bosses. This game is like all bosses pretty much. There's a lot of bosses in this game, and they're all so cool looking. They're really awesome looking characters, and it's a really great game. So I would suggest this game. And if you haven't seen the Tiger Vanguard, check him out. He's really cool.
I do want to play it. I'm watching you kind of play it and talk about it. It seems like a game. It sounds like seems like a combination between Ghost of Tsushima and like not exactly, but like not but like the Elden Ring type of thing where you've got the
I'll
big
I'll
bosses.
compare it to like the like Bloodborne sort of so the Soulsborne type games and God of War. I'd say it's kind of in between there is where I kind of compare it.
Nice. Cool.
So Mr. MussKeg, I think is
And
next.
I'm gonna go back in time to early 2000s. I think it was early 2000s, maybe late. One of my favorite game series of all time, and when I first played this game, the sheer scope of it, the sheer size of it, just I drew me right in. Was Mass Effect 1, and in Mass Effect 1, at the end of that game, you battle Saren, who is the Spectre, the rogue Turian Spectre, who has been kind of working to bring or help the Reapers um, from the beginning of the game, and you've been essentially almost trying to hunt down, that movie style where it's like the rogue agent that you try and go hunting down. That's kind of what that game was, and you finally get him one on one in a cool um, setting of the Citadel, because the Citadel, which is a place you go shopping and do a lot of storyline activities in the game. All of a sudden, it's become a battleground. And I don't, Lou. I know you've played it. I don't. You remember he's like jumping around and everything like
Yeah.
that, and so
Well,
it
I
was
think
pretty challenging. And it,
yeah, the Reaper like empowers him, so he's now a little bit more floaty and stuff. But yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, it was a really good one. And I think part of the reason I liked it too. Maybe it's not as like epic as far as the sheer style and fighting and everything like that, but it was such a good climax to such a good long game, um, which sometimes the climaxes don't live up to it, but this one definitely did.
and I believe you can actually skip. I'm not sure if all of it, but at least a good chunk of it. If you played your cards
Yeah,
right going in, you can like
yeah,
snipe him like in a cutscene earlier. You can snipe him right.
yes, yes, yeah. You again the to the point of the great part about the Mass Effect series, right? Your decisions in the game could lead to a slightly edited or altered version of the way the fight's going to go, right?
Yeah,
So
and that's actually where there's a big twist in it as well, because up until that point, you just think, okay, Saren's working for the Reapers and all this stuff, and you do that fight, and then that's when you find out, like, oh my God, his fucking ship is the Reaper. You find
yeah,
out, it's like,
yeah,
holy cow,
yeah,
it's a big
yeah.
twist there.
That's a Reaper. That's a Reaper. Oh
Yeah,
wow. Okay. Yep.
it's a great battle. Uh, I was next, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go like keeping in with like early 2000s stuff. I believe this is, I think was it '09 was Uncharted 2. I guess it's not
It
early
sounds right.
2000s.
It sounds right.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Uncharted 2, the final boss, Lazarevic.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
he's, I mean, Uncharted doesn't really have boss battles until the end. Like you get one boss battle basically in most of the Uncharted games.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like,
And
There's sequences in the games, but there's not like boss battles in the
yeah.
games.
and
I'd
even
say.
the first one didn't really have like a boss that you fought at the end.
Yeah, there was like a quick time kind of thing at the end.
Sort of, yeah.
But this
Yes.
one was more of your traditional boss battle, and I was really kind of wondering like how this is going to play out, because Lazarevic is like this big private military like operator. He's running his own military, and you know, you always kind of like cat and mouse. He's pursuing you, or you're trying to get something back from him throughout the whole game, and it finally comes to a head when you get to Shambhala, and there's like this sap which can like basically make you immortal and restore your life, heal your wounds, and all this shit. But because of his military nature, I was like, this is going to feel like a lot like a Call of Duty, like a shooter type thing, where I'm going to be just shooting him like as I was expecting going in. So it was a nice surprise when it ended up being like he drinks this syrup or whatever, and he becomes empowered, and you can't just sit there and shoot him, because anything that happens, like you blast him with a shotgun in point blank range, and like he just heals right back up. And it's like, oh my God. And the whole, basically the boss fight, you're running from him, right? Like you're running around this loop around this whatever area you want to call it, like inside this
Yeah,
tree.
it's like an entire loop, climbing and jumping, and
Yeah.
it's kind of.
And the only thing you can do to hurt him is the sap, where like it crystallizes. You can blow those up, and that's the one thing that hurts them. So I like that, because it's constant. You're constantly on the move, right? It's a really dynamic fight in terms of always being on the move and trying to get the drop on him before he catches you off guard somewhere.
I did like it. It did feel a little goofy sometimes, though. Just constantly running in a circle, basically, as this guy chased you.
It was definitely video gamey, like Lewis said.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. I love it. I still great.
It's such a cool story and everything like that. So it got a little video gamey at that part, but like it was a good. It stands out too. I'll say that, right? It definitely stands out as a boss fight.
If I think of like any of the Uncharted games, that is definitely the boss fight that I think of for any of the Uncharted games. That is the boss fight. And it definitely reminds me of another Naughty Dog game, the first Crash Bandicoot with Ripperoo, when you got to jump on some boxes, and you got to time them to try and blow up Ripperoo, because he's trying to chase after you on these different platforms. It was similar to that, but it definitely more Uncharted, more upgraded way, I'd say. And then I guess it's my turn, I suppose. So I'm gonna go to a PS2 game. We just had the PS2 25th anniversary. I don't know if you guys checked that out. You should check that out.
10 times already. 10 times.
Oh wow, that's all our views right there, probably. But yeah, PS2 is having a 25-year anniversary this year, so I got to bring up one of my favorite games from there, and that is Shadow of the Colossus, a game that is all boss fights. Literally everything you do in that game is find a boss and beat it. That's what you got to do. And so the boss fight that is my favorite, that stands out, and I think it's kind of a lot of people's favorite, is like the really big, tall, skinny, tall, towering dude with a big sword.
Yeah.
His name is Glaze, I believe. Is it Glaze or Glaus?
I don't know.
So I looked it up. I think that's what it was. But what's so cool about it is that you're in this big round platform, and it's just you and him, and he's just walking towards you. But I mean, he's this big, tall dude. So you're running full tilt as much as you can, so he can't catch you. And then every once in a while, he'll throw down this giant like sword. It's like a big blunt sword, and it lands like mere feet from you. And then the dirt like flies up, and you gotta try and run up his sword and find all his weak parts on his body at that time. You got to try and stab him in those weak spots. It is just so epic because you see how big this is the biggest boss that you've fought so far in this game, and there are so many different bosses. There's so many different variations in this game, but this is the one that stood out for me as the most epic. Anyways, this is my favorite from the game.
And like when I have them on my list too, but when you say sword, like it's really like a sword for him is like the Washington Monument. It's a big fucking pillar he's trying to hit you with. And I love that one too.
You think you're so far away from him, but then all of a sudden he's swinging it down and like, holy shit, he's going to hit me. Like that's how long the arm and sword is. It's just that freaking big. You're far enough away.
That is an older game I definitely want to play just because I love like the concept of massive humanoid creatures, so like giants and everything like that. Colossus, like you talk about in God of War 2, like the Colossus of Rhodes. I never played that one, so I didn't see that fight, but that concept is just so cool to me. So I know I'd love Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, and in this one, I think the scale is more like you'd be like a mouse compared to like a human trying to like smack you with a broom or something, basically.
That's
pretty much
better, right? Can you imagine a human as tall as a skyscraper just walking around?
Yeah, there might be one. It's kind of like almost like Zelda in that it's like an open world kind of area. You ride your horse and you got to try and find these different colossi throughout the world. But it's very artistic. It's a very beautiful game. And I'm glad I got the PS4 version of it too, because it's even more beautiful on the PS4. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. It's a beautiful game.
That PS4 version came out 2 years ago, or was it more recent?
No, it was before the PS5.
Oh, PS4. Sorry, I'm way off.
Yeah, just before COVID.
Definitely.
So that's me then.
That's you, yeah.
And is this my last one then? Or
no. I think we did 5. When we were going to do this, if you have 5
for time, that's all.
We got time.
3 so far. Yeah, we got lots of time.
Then I'm gonna go with
One eternity later.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with one that in kind of the spirit of what John was saying with your tiger fucker. The Jedi Fallen Order, the first one, the battle with the second sister at the end was a challenging fight for me. It took me quite a while to successfully defeat her for some reason or another. I don't know why, but it also followed through with a really cool after the fight sequence with Lord Vader, which was a cool add to it as well, which also had fun to it. Like sometimes it's fun when you have that boss fight that you don't know is supposed to be a scripted loss, so you just kind of try and last as long as you can to see if you can get through it.
Throwing everything you got at them, you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
The Jedi Fallen Order was just such a fun, awesome, like combat style game. One of my favorites in the more recent times as far as difficulty and such. It's just a good difficulty type, not crazy like the From Software.
Like Bloodborne.
Yeah, Bloodborne games.
It is similar to a Soulsborne type game though. It is that kind of
There's lots of other lots of other bosses. That was just the one I remember, and in more recent times is the one I remember for a lot of games. It took me a while to get through that fight. And
that is a good game. It's a great game. I can't think of any boss fights that stand out so much for me though. But that is one of them. But yeah, no, it's just that's a great game.
Doesn't that I haven't played it myself? But don't they have those the roller droids from like the Phantom Menace.
Majority guys?
Yeah, are they in there? I would assume that would
Yeah,
be a
they're
boss
pain in
fight.
the ass 'cause they have shields on
I
them
don't
too.
think it's
You
a
have to,
boss
like,
fight.
Oh.
I think they're just an
not a boss
irritation
fight,
that
but
happen every once in a while.
you have to charge up against them to get past their shield too, if they're the ones I'm thinking of. So
Yeah.
So me next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with another classic one that I think gets mentioned quite a bit. From PS1, I'm gonna go with a Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear Solid.
Psycho Mantis can read people's minds. You can't resist.
Psycho Mantis.
So that is it's a fun boss fight. It's outside the box of what you think, because it kind of breaks the fourth wall. I mean, it does break the fourth wall, but in a different way than you might have expected. So it's basically you get into a room with Psycho Mantis, who's knocked out your love interest Meryl, who's also your ally, but she's knocked out, and she starts fighting you, and he's controlling her with his mind. But as you like talk to him, he's like talking to you, the player. Like he's talking to Snake, but he also kind of addresses you. He's like
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, he's like, I can read your memory card, or you saved often, or whatever. You really enjoyed Symphony of the Night. It's like, how the fuck does he know what I played? Like he can read the games off your memory card.
That's kind of cool.
And then when you're fighting him, you can do it. It's very hard, but you can't really beat him in the normal method of combat, because every time you try to shoot at him, he's always moves out of the way. He always goes this way. Like you can set up some trap with like C4 or mines or whatever to get him, but the way you're supposed to fight him is you take your controller out of port 1 and you put it into the second controller port, and then he can't read your movements, and you can actually have a fair fight with him. And like that's such a great thing, and I think that even
how do you figure that out though? That's my question.
well, they radio you on the codec systems, like Snake, put your thing into port 2, and you're like, what? And like the people on the codec are talking to you about moving your thing over. Like at times they tell you to look on the back of the CD case, and there's like a codec channel that you can only find on the back of your jewel case CD that says this is the number you call or whatever. And it's like, oh my god. But yeah,
I always thought it was just because of like word of mouth, like you learned on the playground from other kids or something. I didn't know that they actually kind of did give you hints. Okay.
I didn't think it was part of the actual gameplay. I always thought it was like a cheat workaround.
No, it's real. Like they do these things in game, like they're actually talking to you as a player, which is so weird. But yeah, and then after that, the boss fight becomes a lot easier to beat him. But if you weren't paying attention to that point, you can get really fucked up by him.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I would love to go and play the Metal Gear games. It's too bad they're just so damn old, and I don't want to go back to the PS1.
I don't see you as much like a stealth strategy kind of person like that either. Like
in games where I have to be, I can be, but if there's options to not be, I usually don't do the option of being stealthy.
It's not really
like
ever
Assassin's Creed. I played Assassin's Creed. I played the first bunch of Assassin's Creed, so I was stealthy whenever I could be.
Motherfucker out of all of us, right? I'm stealthy.
The loudest guy is the stealthiest guy. Yeah.
You don't even know I'm here right now because I'm moving so slowly that I'm
invisible. That?
You never expect him because he's so loud.
So my next one is going to be a more recent one. It came out on the PS5. It's from the game Returnal. It's one of the bosses that definitely stands out for me. Each boss has their own cool key marks to it. This one stands out the most because you're at the end of the level and you're kind of like, okay, where do I gotta go? And off in the distance, you kind of just hear this organ music going on, and you're just like, oh, it's kind of music, ominous. And then you find this platform, and you start going up and up and up, and the higher you go, the louder the organ music gets, and you're like, okay, I think I'm getting to something big here. And sure enough, you finally get to the top of this tower, and at the very top is this big plant. Dude, he's greenish, and he's got like tree limbs and vines and stuff all over the place, and he's got this big organ, and he's playing, and you see all these different limbs playing it, and all of a sudden he like turns around, he starts attacking you. And the thing about like the Returnal game is it's a lot like a twitch stick shooter is what it's like. So it's a lot of stuff coming at you all at once, and you gotta do a lot of dodging, shoot, dodge, shoot, and it is super fun. And it's probably one of the easier bosses I think I beat him the first try, honestly. But it was so epic just to like have him this guy playing this organ. It's just the organ is like still playing as you're fighting him too, and it just this very ominous, like almost like haunting music as you're fighting this guy. But it's beautiful at the same time with all these different like orbs and things coming at you as you're fighting. It's almost like a ballet as you're fighting. It is a beautiful moment in the game that I won't forget for forever. It's awesome. Love that game. Underrated game, I'd say. I wish they would do a sequel to that game.
I know I watched you play a bunch of it, but I didn't see that part in particular.
It's brilliant. It is amazing, beautiful, and everybody should experience it.
So I'm struggling right now because one of the ones I want to talk about is for a game that I know Lou is still playing or is is planning to play. So I
Is
don't
it
want to.
Veilguard?
No, it's Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh,
Okay. You can go ahead. I'm
but-
sure I'll forget about it by the time I get to there.
Well, yeah, and honestly, it might not even be something because that game is so fantastically amazing. You might not ever come across this character. But if you play the story in a way, there can eventually be a point where you're basically have to steal something from a devil's house, and so you get transported there, and the whole sequence is very fun. But at the end, as you go to try and escape or leave with the item you have, you run into the devil Raphael, and it's an awesome fight because throughout the game you've had the choice to be like accept this guy's offer or not go with him, or you have to make choices. But and he's been very cordial the whole time, like a devil would. But if you deny it or you select the right options, he's like, all right, well, now we're fighting. And the fight itself is fun. He's a cool boss. Like when you see his hit points are 666 kind of thing. So that's kind of funny. But one thing that's so cool was, this is not a game where like music was a big thing. Sure, you got background noise and stuff, but all of a sudden this like angelic voice comes in, starts singing a song. The lyrics are like lives, all mortal lives, expire, and it's got this all of a sudden this kick-ass big organ comes in, and you're like, holy shit, this is an epic fight I'm about to have with an epic song behind it, and it plays throughout the whole fight. It's just a really, really cool boss battle, and
what does the guy look like? What does he look like? Does he look devilish?
So when he's in his like human form, he looks a lot like Ian McShane.
Really? Okay, nice.
Yeah, because it is Ian McShane.
Oh, he does the voice. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then devil looks like a devil, right? So yeah.
So it's not like in Dante's Inferno game where he's like naked and he's got like a big swinging dick at you when you're fighting him.
No, but there's definitely dicks when you're in his place.
No, in Dante's Inferno, you fight the devil at the very end, and he's like his dick's out.
Well,
Yeah.
no, not like that.
Makes you want to play Dante's Inferno though, Donut, isn't it?
Kind of does. Kind of
Just a
does. He's got a hot ass, though. He's got a hot ass. That's what matters most.
Just a
So
hint.
furry though.
Just a hint. His dick is his weak spot.
Yeah. Good thing it's so fucking big.
Yeah.
It's just fucking swinging.
Well,
Awesome.
One more for Lewis, I guess.
yeah,
right?
I guess.
Oh, that wasn't my last one. I've got one more then after. Because
We'll see time wise if we can toss a quick one in afterwards.
Because you guys both had organs that got me thinking of another game with some. I mean, he plays it on different instruments. I think it really is an organ that. And from that game, one of the better boss fights is Dark Link, and I believe that's Ocarina of Time, or is it Majora's Mask?
Okay. The water temple.
Yeah, and you get to this this room, which is basically like water. There's just this big pool of water. There's nothing else really in the room aside from a door on the other side.
And there's an island in the middle.
Yeah, right. There's an island in the middle. But you start walking across, and there's this thing that looks like your reflection at first, but no, it's an actual person. He looks just like you. He's Link, but he's like shade darker or whatever. And you get to him, and it's like fighting a mirror. Anything you do, he basically does back to you. I mean, there's a little thing where he can still strike you, like if you're not doing anything.
If you swing, he'll like jump and stand on your sword.
Yeah, he can do that. Like he knows everything you're doing, so it's it's a really complicated fight because you got to think of ways to get the drop on him. Like unlike the Psycho Mantis one I brought up earlier, there is, as far as I know, there's no real way to
There is. You use it's an item that you find in the water temple. Use the hook shot to try and. That's
Oh,
how
okay.
you try and use the hook shot. Yeah.
I usually just use bombs, like because I timed it so he would always
Yeah.
be hit before he
There's
would blow up.
different ways. That's the easiest way. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was a really unique fight. I really like those ones where it's like a mirror battle, because then you're like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna fucking do? Usually you
It's
end
a
up
really
playing the
cool
room.
setting, though.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool thing. And it's just random, right? Because you're in the rhythm of you do a temple, you got a boss fight, you do this thing. Whereas all of a sudden, right in the middle of it, there's this random,
Yeah.
really cool setting. Yeah, fight. I
Well,
loved it
usually
a lot.
the thing is, usually they lead up to like the boss that you fight, right? Like they'll be like, oh yeah, the Dodongos or whatever in here are these creatures that there's a king of them who blows fire and stuff in the center of the mountain. So you're working your way through the prison or the dungeon trying to get to that point, hearing about all this. But this one, like Dark Link, just comes out of nowhere. You're like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I loved it.
Have you ever
I loved
played Ocarina, John?
No, it's one of those blind spots of mine.
Oh.
If they ever did like a remastered, I would definitely play it because everybody talks about, they praise that game as like one of the best games ever, and I've just never had a chance to play it. I wish. Yeah, it's one of those spots. So I will toss out a game from the PS4 that I know MussKeg has played and fought this boss with me. It is from Destiny, and Atheon is the boss from the Vault of Glass. That it was so cool when they finally brought in what the fuck are they called, the Vault of Glass,
the
the raids when they brought in the
Raid.
raids, because you can have 6 people and it is one sole mission that you're all doing, and you have people that are snipers, you got guys that got to go in, they got to get in close, they got to shoot bad guys, and it's tough, it's not easy, you learn this, there's a lot of trial and error. And then like at the very end when you're finally fighting Atheon, the boss, everyone's, I think like 3 people get sucked into a portal and you're in this other part of the world, and one guy is holding this orb or something and they're trying to get down, but then your other buddies, they got to stick close to you because they can't see otherwise because they're blind, and they got to shoot all the like the lights that pop up, and then when you get down to the bottom, you got to come back out and you got to fight all the other guys that are all there fighting you, and it's just a really cool boss battle. I've never done like a big I've never done a raid before. I never fought like 6 people doing one
cool
sole mission
experience,
before.
yeah.
It was
was
an
really
awesome
cool.
experience.
You have a
It's just-
job. You have to do your job, and if you don't do
it's great when you have really experienced players that can tell you where to go, what you got to do. Okay, I'm on that. I got that. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that will do what I'm told because I don't play enough. Like I got guys that play this thing like 24/7, and they can tell you exactly what to do. And then when Craig jumps off the ledge, and then they're like, "What the hell happened? Who died? Who died?" And Craig texts you and goes, "I didn't want to say anything, but it was me." Because some of them get too serious. Some of these guys are serious about this game.
I like the Vault of Glass. It was my favorite of the raids. But honestly, when I think of boss fights, I think of the other one that happened.
The second one, that boss might have been the better boss.
The hell
I just love the whole raid about it. What did you do? What do you got to do for that?
Yeah, the raid wasn't as fun. I didn't like the whole shadow sequence and everything, but I did love the boss. And you had to have the gallow. Who the fuck's got the gallow horn?
Gallowhorn, yeah, that was important. Yeah, no, but that was my favorite part about Destiny is playing some of those raids. I loved that. And I don't know if you got an honorable mention you want to throw out there, Craig. I know you had something on.
I got to say a quick one. I'll throw out one honorable mention. I got a bunch, but I might save them for another time. But speaking with Ocarina of Time, the Ganondorf battle for me is the one that sticks out at the end. 3 different phases to it. A lot of fun. Hitting back the lightning bolts with the sword. Yeah. And it starts to speed up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I'll just throw that one out there.
Yeah. I'm assuming we're gonna do like maybe another one of these, possibly.
Oh, I'm sure we will in the future. Yeah.
So I'll just throw out one honorable mention. I'm gonna go with Conker's Bad Fur Day and the N64. I think they redid it for the Xbox. I mean, a lot of people. There's one that a lot of people talk about, but I actually personally enjoyed the boiler room boss. I can't remember. I don't know what his proper name is, but he's like a big boiler, and he gets hot. And there's like kind of two things you got to do with him. Like when he's hot, you got to go and get drunk. You go and you get beer and you drink beer, and then you start playing like you're walking through molasses, a little bit wobbly, and you got to just piss on him to cool him down. So you just start pissing on the boss to cool him down. And once he's
like aim your stream and stuff. Yeah.
Once he cools down, his brass balls drop.
Let me show you something. See that button there? Yeah. The one with the... Yeah. Press. Whoa. I see what you mean.
Balls of brass are polished to the nth degree.
There's a pair of brass balls dropping. You just take a frying pan and you smack them. So you, kind of a rinse and repeat formula, but it's fun. I really enjoyed that boss fight.
I mean, I would just say the Great Mighty Pooh because it's probably the most memorable one that everybody talks about. But I just want to that's not my pick for my honorable mention. But with that game, I think Great Mighty Pooh comes to mind first, obviously. But I'll just honorable mention I'll throw out there God of War 3. Probably the biggest boss battle I've probably still fought to this day is Kronos. You're literally like that big between his fingers. You rip off his fingernail at one point. You're fighting on his arms. You go inside his throat. You tear up his insides. It's really cool because he's this guy in the very first game that you were on his back on a mountain with a palace, and they did a whole level. Half the game is basically on Kronos' back. So that's how big this guy. He's bigger than a mountain, and so you're fighting him now, and you gotta destroy him yourself, and you're like that. Pretty cool boss fight. Yeah. Well, I guess that's gonna do it for our favorite boss battles. We will definitely have another one in the future at some point. But where can we find you guys? Where can we find you guys, Mr. MussKeg down below us?
Twitch, Twitter, and PSN, and TikTok as the MussKeg.
Nice.
And
Mr. LewisLightning.
I'm the LewisLightning. That's all one word altogether. I am on Twitch, and I'm also on YouTube, where you can find some gameplay videos there.
And I'm CountryBoy_9, also known as CountryBoy9, or a bunch of different places. Check me out on all the social medias, especially here on YouTube, where I unbox stuff like this guy, Mr. Ray Fillet. Pretty cool. He's a pretty big dude. Pretty awesome. But that is
ass. Is it a hot ass? Can you show me the ass?
Yeah, we need to see the ass.
You know what? You know who has a hot ass? This guy, Scarfish. He's actually got.
That's a hot ass. I'd study
a hot
that
ass for you. Speaking of ass, that's going to do it for this boss battle episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what your favorite boss fights are in video games. We would definitely appreciate it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and leave some comments down below. But that's going to do it. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.